Welcome to today's story breakdown. Today, we're stepping way deep into the shadows of a dense, unforgiving jungle to unpack a timeless tale. It's a short but incredibly intense encounter, and it reveals some truly profound truths about power, vulnerability, and integrity. We're looking at the classic story of the lion and the honest goat. So let's just get right to the encounter that starts the whole thing off.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture the scene, right? A small, totally unassuming goat is just wandering through the thick foliage when, out of nowhere, she comes face to face with the undisputed apex predator of the jungle. And the lion? He doesn't mince words. He says, "Today I will eat you." It's a chilling, absolute threat. There's no negotiation, absolutely no hesitation, just the raw, terrifying reality of a predator and its prey. The conflict is instantly triggered. Which brings us to part 1, the powerful lion and little goat.
To really grasp the weight of this story, we first have to examine the massive physical and psychological imbalance between our two characters. On one hand, you have the lion. He's powerful, the ultimate authority, literally the king of the dense jungle. On the other hand, you have the goat. She is little, physically vulnerable, and understandably absolutely terrified. I mean, it's a complete physical mismatch. But, and here is the absolute critical detail, despite being frightened, the little goat doesn't lose her courage. She doesn't just freeze up or throw in the towel. And that brings us to our next section, the goat's surprising promise. Faced with certain death, the goat makes this fascinating strategic choice. Instead of giving into blind panic, or, trying to outrun a creature vastly faster than her, she actually chooses to negotiate. And she uses really clear logic. First, she politely addresses the lion as "Your Majesty" and asks, "Give me a few minutes." Second, she gives this deeply emotional, undeniable reason. "Let me see my kids one last time." And third, the ultimate hook to her plea, "I will return myself." I mean, just think about the sheer bravery required to make a promise like that. To stand right in front of a massive, hungry lion, look him dead in the eye, and promise that you will willingly come back to be his dinner? That is an incredibly bold move.
Now, what's really interesting about this part of the story is what it tells us about the lion's internal mindset. He actually had some deep internal doubt. He thought she would never return. And really, why would anyone willingly walk back to their own death? Yet, highly unexpectedly, he lets her go anyway. Maybe he was just amused by her audacity, or maybe he was curious to see what would happen. But for whatever reason, he grants her the time.
So, we're left hanging with this massive, burning question. Will the goat ever return? Take a second and really think about this. Put yourself in the goat's shoes. You've escaped the jaws of death. You're back home. You're safe with your children. Would you ever willingly walk back to the lion? It completely defies every single natural survival instinct we have. The tension reaches its absolute peak right here as we enter the next section, the power of truth. She actually returned. Against all odds, against all common sense, and basic self-preservation, the goat walks right back into the clearing. Imagine the absolute shock and amazement of the lion in this moment. He was fully prepared to never ever see her again. He was completely convinced the whole thing was a trick. But no, there she is, fulfilling an impossible promise. Let's see how this builds up to the climax of our story. Look at the lion's reaction. He tells her, "You didn't lie to save your life. You are very brave and truthful." Notice how the power dynamic we talked about earlier completely flips right here. Yes, the lion still holds all the physical dominance, obviously, but the goat, she's just conquered him with profound moral respect. He is deeply, deeply moved by her honesty. Let's break down the immediate rewards of the goat's integrity. First off, the lion was completely amazed by her honesty. He formally declared her brave and truthful. And the most incredible outcome of all this? He set her free. He literally told her, "Go. From today, you and your children are safe." Her refusal to lie didn't just save her own life. It secured the safety of her entire family for good.
So the crucial point is really what we take away from all this, which brings us to our final section, the victory of a soft heart.
Let's deconstruct the core moral lesson here. The tale leaves us with 3 clear virtues: truth, honesty, and courage. The fable explicitly tells us that these are the virtues that bring a person true respect. It brilliantly connects the dynamics of the animal kingdom right back to our own human behavior. Just like the goat earned the respect of a deadly predator through these exact traits, these specific virtues earn universal respect in our society too, no matter who you're dealing with. To sum up this core transformation, let's look at a final comparison.
Think of a hard heart, represented by that initial, uncompromising, deadly threat from the lion, versus a soft heart, represented by the goat's truthfulness, her emotional plea, and her unwavering integrity. The takeaways is that a soft heart can actually change a hard heart. The goat's physical vulnerability and moral strength literally overpowered raw physical dominance. It's a total game changer. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to end on. What hard heart can your soft heart change today? Because this story isn't just about a lion and a goat, right? It's a powerful lens for our own human interactions. Think about the profound power of vulnerability and truth to disarm fear and aggression in your own life. It's huge. Thank you so much for joining me for this breakdown today, and I'll catch you in our next deep dive.